seems like lately we've been talking beer a lot on the radio, and I think that's a good thing. And I'm sure that Tim Davis would agree. He's the guy behind Territorial Brewing. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Tim. Thanks for having us on.
Dan Chapin, your head brewer, is also along. Good
morning,
Dan. Nice to have you guys here. We have been hearing an awful lot about beer. In fact, I saw an article somewhere that said, Battle Creek, the only city in the world without a brewery, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute here, and I bet you were thinking the same thing.
Well, we are in Springfield at Territorial, but we consider ourselves Battle Creek.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, but I know what they meant. They're trying to attract, stuff happening in downtown per se, and you guys are on the outskirts, obviously out by the airport.
Right.
And but how long have you been there now?
We've been open about 3.5 years now. We opened in November of 2014.
Okay. And how are things going? Last time we talked to you, I think it was maybe in February, you were talking about opening a little, increasing your operation, having another building around the corner.
Yep, and we're operating that location right now. Dan and I are down there just about almost 7 days a week. One of us is there.
Yeah.
And, cranking out as much beer as we can to keep up with demand.
Now, in terms of what you were brewing and where you're headed now, how much of a change is that?
Well, we already increased our production capacity by about 50%. We increased our max capacity from 400 barrels a year to about 600 barrels a year. And we're working on adding more fermenter capacity, more fermenters, which will increase our capacity. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll add a capacity for about 200 more barrels a year.
Very exciting. Very exciting. By the way, you have a big event we've been telling people about as we talk to our friends over at the Humane Society.
That's right. If Dan wants to talk about that.
Yeah, we're teaming up with the Humane Society of South Central Michigan to do their Pints for Paws. We are going to have on some special beers, $1 of every beer that we sell. The special beers will be donated to the Humane Society. We also have some spent grain dog treats. We actually use the grain from beer and turn them into dog treats.
Really?
Yeah, they're actually quite good.
My dog goes crazy for them.
Yeah, they smell delightful.
So you're recycling the stuff that you use to make beer into dog treats?
Yeah. I mean, it normally gets recycled anyway as food for pigs, pig farmers. So we're using it in other ways as well, too. So.
I'm sure we're. I have a couple dogs that are very pig-like.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. So maybe I'll have to come over and get some of that. What did you bring us?
We brought a sample of our BC Light. You don't have to drink this right now, but you can save this for the rest of the crew here at WBCK.
Yeah, for 12:01 this afternoon, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this is our American Light Lager, which just won a gold award at the World Beer Cup, which just occurred last Thursday. Which is kind of a big deal for us and really exciting.
So it's like winning the gold medal?
Yeah, they call this the Olympics of Beer, the World Beer Cup. It only happens every 2 years. This year it took place in Nashville, Tennessee. We weren't there to attend, unfortunately, because we would have been able to go up on stage and receive our award from Charlie Papazian, who started the Brewers Association and really helped kick off the homebrew movement in the late 70s.
Well, they probably understood you guys had work to do.
That's right.
Back brewing beer. Well, 4 Michigan breweries won at this World Cup, and I mean that's quite an honor to be listed among them.
4 gold medals, 10 awards overall for Michigan brewers, which is awesome.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next question. Do you think too many breweries is bad or good? I mean, they're talking about putting 2 downtown. You guys are right here in Battle Creek as well. Do you embrace that?
Absolutely. We're extremely excited for 2 more breweries coming into Battle Creek, possibly even more. Especially breweries that do operate like we do. We're more of a neighborhood-style pub. And until there's a brewery in every neighborhood that can support one, there's no such thing as market saturation. The place where it gets competitive and where you are seeing saturation is on the store shelves for bottles and cans. But
sure.
For small taverns like ours, places that are local gathering places, places that bring people into the community and create jobs in the community. I'm extremely excited to welcome New Holland to town here, hopefully next year, and maybe a couple more too. It's going to be awesome.
New Holland actually won one of those 4 gold medals as well.
Yes, they did for their Pilgrim's Dole, which I can't remember what style of beer that is. I've had it, and it's amazing. It fully deserves a gold medal.
I believe it's some type of barley wine, I believe. I'm not 100%.
Or an old ale. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe an old ale.
That's and you talk about bringing people into the community. I mean, we could all of a sudden become known as a stop. Hey, let's go to Battle Creek. They got 3 breweries there. We'll just hop from one to the next and sample a few.
That's absolutely one of the things that, creating a craft beer destination. So people who are beer enthusiasts often travel quite a ways to try something they haven't had before.
Yeah.
And if you've got a few stops that are close together, that we all benefit from that.
We might need a shuttle.
Yes.
We might need a shuttle service.
Absolutely. At least have a designated driver.
Yeah. Well, man, it's exciting. I think it really is. We're talking beer this morning. Tim Davis from Territorial Brewing is with us this morning, and also Dan Chapin, the head brewer over at Territorial. They're on Helmer Road. You can't miss it, right across from the airport. And but the new facility just around the corner, isn't it?
Yep, it's just down the street. Down our driveway is off of 6th Avenue at the restaurant, and the production brewery is just about a quarter mile down 6th Avenue from there.
What made you guys get into brewing beer?
Started home brewing about, I think it was 10 or 11 years before we actually opened the brewery, so that was getting close to 15 years ago. And one of the reasons I got into it first was just to see if I could, and then became exciting to try and brew beers that I couldn't find in a store or at a local brewery. And that's where I started making some of these German style, these continental style lagers, because they were beers that don't necessarily travel well. So you can get examples of them here, but they're not fresh. And that became first a passion and then an obsession.
Tell us a little bit more about this beer you brought us for lunch, Dan. The award-winning beer, BC Light. In fact, you recently won a gold at the World Beer Cup. Describe that beer.
Well, it's a light lager. We basically we did a version of what's called high gravity brewing, where we actually brewed a larger beer and basically diluted it down to what it is right now. That's what a lot of the macro breweries are doing. And we just tried it out as a method to see if it would work, and it worked amazing. It's an amazing beer, easily drinkable. It's nothing too heavy that's either gonna make you unable to have a conversation with people, or that you make your stomach hurt or anything like that.
And what about calories? Is that lower than some beers? Or?
Well, we don't have the lab equipment quite to get the exact calorie count, but it is the lightest beer that we have on tap right now. So
I see that the government's going to force people to put the calorie count on.
That's right.
At least for larger food companies and beverage companies, so that the chains, I guess,
and
they're going to have to tell you how many calories are in there, because people are mindful about it.
Oh, yeah. And even though that's something that won't apply to us just yet, that doesn't mean it won't in the future. So it is something that we're working towards being able to provide for our customers.
Sure, at some point you probably will. But, a lot of people are looking to try and and conserve on calories, but they don't really want to sacrifice taste. And so that's your challenge, isn't it?
That is. This beer is absolutely a challenge. This is probably the most difficult beer style to produce, because it is so light, and the flavors and aromas are so delicate that there is no room for any off flavors. We always say, and we've heard it from others, that brewing a beer like this is like going to a party naked. There's no way to hide your flaws. It's right out there in the open.
Wow. And so I guess the folks at the Brewing Association, they recognize that then, giving you that award. And by the way, that award it doesn't usually go to a small microbrewery.
No, we're the first craft brewer to ever win this award, I believe. So this normally goes to the big brewers.
The big
brewers who invented this style of beer.
Yeah, the previous 10 World Beer Cups, macro breweries have taken the gold. So,
which I think in all 22 years. Yeah.
Well, Dan, how do you become a head brewer? What's your background?
Well, just like Tim here, I spent a lot of time home brewing, and joined the Territorial team about 2.5 years ago, and kind of climbed the ranks under Tim's guidance and everything, and learning from other breweries in the area, and eventually, it's been quite a journey. So, being able to say that this beer is ours is quite an honor, really. So,
do you guys have like micro brewery heroes that you kind of follow?
Absolutely.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, who are some people that you really think you tip your hat to?
Well, my biggest is Tom Hennessy, a guy who I studied with in. He's on the western slope of Colorado. Just opened his 7th or 8th brewery. He's kind of a brewery startup guru, but just an amazing guy. And then, if it wasn't for people like Larry Bell, so Bell's Brewery and Founders, and Arcadia, one of my first Michigan craft beer was Arcadia Angler's Ale, which I absolutely loved. I might have had that before I was 21 years old.
Oh,
but
we won't tell.
But that beer was one of the things that helped start my love for beer. So I have a lot of respect for Arcadia.
Yeah, and I remember, when Larry was just a student at K College, and he used to show up down at the jazz club downtown with his flute and play a little bit of flute, and who knew that he would, be able to. I mean, it was a very unheard of thing at that time. Kind of created it out of nothing, and paved the way for a lot of people. And how many have we got in Michigan now? Do you even know?
I don't know.
It almost changes daily, basically.
Yeah,
there is one other brewery I want to mention too, Dark Horse in Marshall.
Yeah.
Aaron Morris is definitely somebody who we look up to as like a hero of ours.
Oh yeah.
What he's done there, and he really set a tone for doing your own thing, and so we absolutely look up to him.
Sure.
In what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there a lot of sharing of knowledge? I mean, it sounds like you had a couple of mentors that have really helped you.
Absolutely.
I remember getting into Bell's for a little mini tour, and this was back in the 80s. And when they first started, it really wasn't much. And they had like some old German guy there that knew stuff.
Yeah.
And he was fascinating.
No, Dark Horse, the crew at Dark Horse has helped us out, especially when we were first starting. Bell's has been very supportive to us. It's kind of and also we have a tremendous camaraderie with a lot of the breweries who started right around the same time we did, that are around the same size as us. We kind of have our own little club where we share stuff together all the time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm encouraged that you guys are embracing more breweries coming to the area, because I mean, we could all of a sudden be a dot on the map, a destination point.
And we certainly could be, especially with the breweries that are coming in. I mean, obviously, Founders knows what New Holland knows what they're doing.
Yeah. I tried their bourbon or their whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Their beer barrel bourbon.
Winter. Yeah, it was really good. It wasn't cheap, but it was really good.
We actually, at one point, got some used barrels that they used for their beer barrel bourbon from New Holland to do some of our barrel-aged beers.
Wow. Tell us again about the Humane Society event, how that works and when that is.
Well, it's at 5:30 tonight.
Yep, 5:30 to 8:30 tonight. All ages event. Unfortunately, we can't let people bring their pets as much as we would like them to. It is a restaurant, and we're just there to support the pets. So we just teamed up with them to try and bring some awareness to a lot of the programs that they do there. We actually are gonna have representatives from the Humane Society will be there to give out information about how to adopt pets, how to train your pets, all sorts of stuff that they've been doing over there. So.
And no charge for that. You just show up and have fun.
Have fun.
You can even, if you're not a fan of beer or aren't hungry, you can simply come in and make a donation to the Humane Society, or bring in toys, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have to be monetary. Although I'm sure the Humane Society would appreciate that.
Well, they'd love to have a jug of non-clumping cat litter too.
I'm sure.
They'll always take that stuff. Well, great. You guys, always fascinating. We can't wait to have you back again, talk about the next cool thing. But congratulations on the award. I got gold medal at the World Beer Cup, for heaven's sakes.
It doesn't seem real.
And, thanks for the jug of BC Light. We will treasure that. I don't know. At least I will. I don't know if I'll share it. But I don't know.
All right.
The other guys don't really have to know about it. But no, we will share it. Maybe we'll just have a little quitting time party tomorrow. To end the week. That would be great. But thanks again for bringing it in, Tim, Dan. Nice to talk to you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.